Today we're going to be looking at number expressions inside of pattern tables and looking at some rules in order to figure out what the pattern is. So you guys already know how to find the value of an expression that contains a variable. Today we're going to learn how to write an expression that describes a rule, which is where the pattern tables come in because patterns are all about rules. So, Jack and Javier played a math game. Jack started by modeling a number with place value blocks. Then Javier changed the number. The table shows the numbers that Jack modeled and also the numbers that were modeled after Javier changed them. What rule did Javier use to change the blocks? Record your work with words, symbols, or numbers. Okay, so when we look at this, we see that first, Jack had 17 place value blocks. And then Javier changed it to 13. And then next, Jack had 20 blocks, and Javier changed it to 16. Then next, Jack had 25, Javier changed it to 21. Then Jack had 32, Javier changed it to 28. So when we look at this, we're not looking for a pattern of what Jack did from here to here to here. We are not looking at the pattern for Jack. We're looking at the pattern of what happened between Jack and Javier changing it. So we're looking at it for a pattern from top to bottom, or Jack to Javier. So when we look at this, we're going to say that Jack is the variable J, and Javier is what's happening. So you take Jack's number and, what do we do to Jack's number? It looks like Javier's number is less, so we either have a choice of division or subtraction. This time it's subtraction. Every time we look at this, Jack's number is changing to a number that is less. So we're going to do subtraction, and we have to look at what's the difference. Well, 17 minus what is 13? 20 minus what is 16? 25 minus what is 21? And our pattern has to be consistent from the beginning variable to the ending amount. So the number that I'm coming up with is 4. Every number that Jack had to Javier's is 4 less. So to get Javier's amount, we have to take Jack's number and subtract 4 to get that. Okay, so here's another pattern for Jack and Javier. This time, Jack has 17 blocks. Then it changes to 24 when Javier redoes it. Then Jack has 20, changes to 27. Jack's is 25, changes to 32 for Javier. Then 32, changing to 39. So when we look at this, Jack's amount is less than Javier's this time. So whatever Jack has is being increased to make Javier's number. So 17 plus what is 24? 20 plus what is 27? 25 plus what is 32? The answer can be found by subtracting from Javier to Jack. So 24 minus 17 is 27 minus 20 is 32 minus 25 is, well, all those answers equal 7. So the difference from Jack to Javier is plus 7. So take Jack's number and add 7 to get Javier's. And that is what our expression says, using S instead of J, but same thing. Okay, looking at another example. Now we have two girls. Sheena and Julie played a math game. The table shows the starting numbers Sheena modeled with place value blocks. The table also shows the numbers blocks modeled after Julie changed them. What rule did Julie use to change the blocks? So we're going to talk about a rule here. Okay, so Sheena has 6, then Julie has 18, then Sheena has 12, changes to 36, 14 to 42, and 20 to 30. So we have to figure out the pattern so that we can make a rule. So 6 to 18, Sheena's number is getting bigger. So we have two choices, either addition or multiplication. So we have to look for a consistent pattern. So 6 plus 12 is 18. So if I look over here, 12 plus 12 isn't 36. So it's not adding 12. And also 14 plus 12 is not 42. And 20 plus 12 is not 60. So the pattern is not an addition pattern this time. So let's think. Multiplication. 6 times what is 18? Oh, I know that one. That is 6 times 3 equals 18. So let's go across here and see if that pattern makes sense. 12 times 3. Okay, well, 12 times 3. Oh, it is 36. Let's try 14. 14 times 3. Yep, 42. 20 times 3. Yep, that's 60. So this time our pattern is multiplying times 3. So our rule is times 3. Okay, so whatever Sheena has times 3 equals Julie. So simple rule, times 3. Okay, so here's Sheena and Julie again. This time, Sheena has 6, Julie changes it to 3. Sheena has 12, Julie changes it to 6. 14 gets changed to 7, and 20 gets changed to 10. So if we start with Sheena and we try to find the rule from Sheena to Julie, the numbers are decreasing. So it's going from 6 to 3. So when I look for a pattern here, I could decide to try subtraction because 6 minus 3 is 3. So let's check that across. 12 minus 3. Oh, that's 9. 14 minus 3. Oh, that's 11. So that pattern isn't working. So now we need to go back and think, it's not a subtraction pattern, but the only other type of pattern that decreases is division. So let's try that. 6 divided by what is 3? Okay, well, 3 times, 2. Okay, so 6 divided by 2 is 3. Let's try that across here. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I think we found our rule. So we found our rule. It is divide by 2. So whatever Sheena has, we're going to divide it by 2. Okay, so let's look at some other examples. So on here we have a table. The total number of questions, of test questions, are in the top row, and then the total number of multiple choice questions are in the bottom row. So we need to figure out a rule, and then we're going to also have to figure out a missing value for the end there. Okay, so if there were 20 questions, there were 10 multiple choice. If there were 30 questions, there were 20 multiple choice, and so on down the table. So we have to find the rule. Okay, so it looks like it's a decreasing rule. So let's try to subtract first. Okay, so 20 minus something equals 10. Oh, 20 minus 10 equals 10. So let's try that. 30 minus 10, yep, equals 20. 40 minus 10, 30. Okay, so our rule here is, I'm going to use the variable q. Q minus 10 is going to find us our bottom row. That's our pattern and our rule. So then now we need to answer question 2. How many multiple choice questions would be on a 50 question test? Well, if we follow the same rule, 50 minus 10 is 40. Okay, so for these next ones, each time you go to check this, I want you to do it on your whiteboard and then pause and come back and check my answers. So go ahead and do number 6 and then hit play again when you're ready to check it. Okay, so we have n and n plus. We have to figure out, we know it's an addition one, we have to figure out what it is. Well, the answer to question 6 would be plus 4 because 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 4 is 8, and so on. Okay, pause, do number 7. Okay, so number 7 would be b minus 8 because all of the bottom row are 8 less than the top row. Pause and do number 8. Okay, for this one, we're going to take the top row Q and we're going to add 15. Okay, go ahead and pause, do 9, 10, and 11, and then come back to check. Okay, for number 9, we are adding, and so 3 plus what equals 68? Well, 3 plus 65. Number 10, x minus what? Well, x minus 13 gives us this bottom row. And number 11, r minus, oh, hold on a second. Need to do a little math here. 12, 5, 39 should be your answer for number 11. Okay, now we're going to look at some multiplication. So right here we know that the top row is n, and we're going to find n times what equals the bottom row to find our roll. Okay, so 3 times what is 18? 8 times what is 48? Well, the answer there is 6. Okay, and we're going to try another one. This time our top row is p, and it's 2, 4, 8, and it says that it's division. So we're going to figure out p divided by what equals the bottom row. So 2 divided by what is 1? 4 divided by what is 2? Well, all of those are divided by 2. Each one of those examples divides by 2. And one more example on this page. Something times t equals these answers. So 2 times what equals 16? 3 times what is 24? Oh, well, that's 8, because all of those are 8 times bigger than t. Okay, same thing as last time. I want you to pause, solve, and then come back to check. Okay, so number 9, go ahead and do it. Okay, number 9 is a division. 4 divided by what is 1? The answer there is 4. Okay, our next one is a multiplication. Go ahead and do that. This one is times 7. And then let's do one more. So when you look at this, W times what equals 45? And that is an answer of 9. Okay, go ahead and pause and solve number 12, and then check back with your answer. Okay, so for number 12, it's division. So 20 divided by what equals 4? 35 divided by what? Well, the answer is 5. Okay, and that is the end of the lesson on figuring out rolls on pattern tables. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask.